In today's video, I want to talk about setting intentions and what it actually looks like to live a more intentional life. So right off the bat, setting intentions is not that challenging. It's not even that mystical. The way that I do it is I consider what I want or how I want to show up in the world that day, and that's the intention that I set. So one of the most common intentions that I offer my students to start setting for themselves is patience. And a good way to figure out whether you need to set an intention of patience or kindness or generosity or whatever your intention is to ask yourself, what is the biggest area I'm struggling in right now? And how would my highest self show up for that? So if you're like me, then you're eager, you're enthusiastic, and those can be very positive things. But if you let that energy tip over a little too much, then it becomes impatience. And that's why one of the biggest intentions I set for myself often is be patient. Be patient with what's happening, be patient with your response to it, and be patient letting things unfold in their own time. So the way that you root down into an intention is kind of the way that you would throw an anchor off of a ship. Your intention is the anchor. And sometimes you just got to throw it down and remind yourself that you don't need to take another action. You don't need to make another step. You need to just ground in whatever you're going through, ground in patience. And ask yourself, how can I be more patient right now? Am I being patient right now? How can I move forward with more patience in my heart, in my actions, in my thoughts, or expectations for other people? When it comes to setting intentions for yourself, be super realistic and don't attach expectations to them. These aren't goals to fulfill. These aren't things to check off your to-do list. If at the beginning of the day you set an intention to be patient and at the end of the day you recognize you weren't, you didn't fail. You just have to check in more. Setting intentions and living an intentional life is continuing to be aware of how you're showing up for your life. So start asking the questions that are going to bring you closer to intentional living. Number 1, how am I showing up for myself and for others? Number 2, how do I want to show up for myself and for others? Number 3, how can I be a better version of myself through this intention? That's a really, really good question, because the more you ask that, the closer you actually become to being that better version of yourself. But not only that, you're asking the question and then you're expanding your mind. So with each question you ask, your mind is going to find an answer for it. And if you're asking proactive questions like, how can I show up as a better version of myself through the medium of patience, or through the medium of gratitude, or generosity, or kindness, or whatever it is you're rooting in. The more you ask these questions, it's really gonna blow your mind when you start to show up as this person, and it becomes like second nature. Now, when it comes to actually setting an intention, you don't need to keep the same one every day. You can change it up as much as you want. For me, I prefer to stick with one intention until I feel like I've kind of used up that season's lessons, and then I move on to another intention. Or if there's a season of your life where you just kind of feel all over the place and you need to show up as different parts of yourself, then continuously ask, where am I struggling and how can I show up and be better? Setting intentions doesn't define anything about who you are or the lifestyle that you have to live. If you choose to live intentionally, it simply means you're choosing to awaken to how things are now and making a conscious effort to move forward with intention. So if you set an intention at the beginning of the day, and you don't necessarily live truthfully through that intention, or you just completely forgot to pause and remind yourself to live in that intention or to take actions rooted in that intention, you didn't fail. You're just becoming aware of the way that you're navigating through life already. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of this entire journey of self. You're constantly becoming aware of other layers, of things that you like and you don't like, of things that you'd like to change and things that you'd like to maybe improve or remove completely. The most important thing about living an intentional life is knowing you can come back and do it at any moment. This is not a pass-fail kind of thing. This is helping you navigate the curriculum of your life, one conscious choice at a time.